Thanks again for joining me for Katy's Corner. I am really excited here today to be here with John Abel. John, thanks for joining me.
Delighted to be here. Feel honored, actually, based on your prior guest list. So this is great, Katy. Thank you.
You're welcome. John, you're in the office.
I am here in our San Jose office. Yes.
I was going to say, which office are you in? You're in San Jose.
I am in the San Jose office. Yes. So
So
I'm doing the full hybrid thing. Some days I'm working at home. Some days I'm in here.
yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect. So tell us, you're a pretty new employee. When did you join us?
I joined in early April, so I've been here just over 2 months now. I will say it feels a little longer.
I was going to say, does it feel like 2 years yet?
Not 2 years, but it's been an exciting ride so far.
Yeah.
Loving who everybody I'm interacting with and working with, and truly enjoying it. Delighted I came here. Absolutely.
Great. That's
Thank Ed and
awesome.
Norman for the opportunity every day.
That's great. You tell us what you do. There are people who may not know what you do. What's your role?
So I am the CIO, and just so people know that CIO does not stand for career is over, but it actually stands for Chief Information Officer. So I'm responsible for the care and feeding of all the solutions that we use to operate the company every single day, keep our customers happy, our partners happy, and most importantly, keep all of our employees effective at what they can, how they do their jobs.
Right, right. And so you're based out of our San Jose office, well, because you live in the Bay Area, right? But you're hybrid.
I do.
And tell us about your team. So who's on your team and what are
Yeah,
folks?
so I have, in any IT organization, and Extreme is very similar to all the other IT organizations I've managed at other companies. You have an infrastructure kind of team that handles like our data centers and our servers and all of our endpoints and help desk. And Jeff Creasy, he's the vice president of our what we call our infrastructure and cloud solutions. There's a portfolio process of how we run all of our large programs. Michelle Anderson runs that and is also my chief of staff. And she's awesome, as well as Jeff. Then we have security, very important area. Phil Swain, who's out in our Raleigh office. So Phil, even though he's I'm Irish, he's English.
But you guys get along.
Exactly, we hit it off. He's got a funny accent just like me. And then we have our kind of a core applications team, and we split that up into a go-to-market team, the Titania Richards, and she runs out of our Salem office. She runs that. We have Santosh that runs our data intelligence, and then Billy Hayes runs our kind of back office systems, finance, HR, supply chain. I think that is it.
That's everyone.
I'm not missing anyone.
So tell me a little bit about, I have a question, I think.
Oh, sorry, and I have an enterprise architect, Naru. That's him.
Okay, an enterprise architect. Okay. So our customers are generally CIOs, right? Or IT functions. So you become really, your role is really strategic. So tell us a little bit about kind of how you interoperate or interact perhaps with Joe V and the sales team, or do you? Do that?
So
is that
no,
your long-term vision?
Great question. That's actually, I think, one of the reasons Ed and Norman and the leadership team wanted to have a change in the CIO, and one of the reasons I'm here. I'm not, CIOs can be kind of nerdy, Katy. I'm not nerdy. I'm very customer facing, friendly, outgoing kind of guy. And so they wanted to ensure that there was somebody that they could put in front of customers. And I do believe that, so we run a program called Extreme Squared, or Extreme on Extreme, that Jeff actually runs. So we want to be customer zero. We want to give feedback into Nabil's organization as solutions come out, how we leverage those. And also, like they take my input or my team's input on, is that something we would find of value when they're thinking about new products or new solutions? And so that is one of the things that I feel very passionate about, and it is absolutely a big part of the job. And then equally, as you mentioned, talking with Joe, so I meet with Joe, meet with Paul and John, and chat with them about, hey, I lend myself out to their teams about how their teams can get in front of CIOs. I give direct input into the sales organization, and what would appeal to me, what marketing kind of things would I respond to, what I wouldn't respond to, so that they're really making good use of their time, and what messages resonate at this point in time and what are top of mind of CIOs, right? What's going on? Because I spend a lot of time. I have a big peer network, especially here in Silicon Valley, that I work with, interact with, and you know, been doing this 30 years, so you kind of know what's going on and what's important.
Well, I mean, I think it's really important because you're not just a G&A function at Extreme. You become a strategic partner to both the sales team as well as to Nabil's team, right?
Yeah.
In terms of the technology that we're building and how our customers use it.
Exactly.
So what is your thought? I mean, there's probably really good reasons you joined us, and you must have some thoughts about our products. So tell us a little bit about that.
No, I think, look, I think that that Extreme, and you always hear Ed talking about this, it's a very, very good point. So the way I look on it, like I've been doing this a long time, I worked at companies like Hitachi, and then prior to that, Veritas, who's in the data storage and backup. And so I've watched complete industries like Hitachi in kind of high-end storage move to the cloud, right? And I've watched the compute move to the cloud, and the uprising, you know, basically of Amazon and Microsoft and Google and some of the other providers. And so when you think about that and you think what was in a data center is really made up of compute power, storage, and networking. And so those first two are gone, right? Most people have got rid of that. They've put it into the cloud. Networking is the last component. And, you know, and we are well advanced. You've seen the numbers from the 650 group this week, just looking at where we're at. We are upsetting the 800-pound gorilla here in San Jose, the other guy. So, you know,
the C company.
The C company. And so, yeah, that's where they belong, by the way. You know, C, we're A, you know, someone else B, they belong at C.
Well, tell me, some people may not know. So talk a little bit about the 650 group information that came out.
So I think it was in Ed Talks this week that we watched, and it basically, you know, said that, look, from a pure cloud placement in the marketplace, we are number 2. In fact, we beat out number 3 and 4 combined when you look at our share of market, and we are triple-digit growth year over year in that space, and 10x what Cisco's year-on-year growth was in cloud.
Huge.
And so it is. And so why did I come? The numbers speak for themselves.
That's awesome. So you're clearly an industry expert. You kind of threw in there a few companies you've been at. Tell us a little bit about your experience and what makes you a great CIO. Because I know what makes you a great CIO. I want you to tell us. Well, just
my average. That's what makes me a great CIO. No, you know, so yeah, I grew up in Ireland, you know, and moved to the United States here 25 years ago. And started out in consulting. And so that consulting background really, you know, to be a consultant for a big 5 KPMG that I worked for, you kind of got to get along with a lot of people, and that's Irish people by nature. And so I just kind of moved along through my career, and now I'm in the advanced professionals program with Stan. I want to give that back. But basically, I've spent the last 25 years, actually now 30 years, 25 years in Silicon Valley, worked for very large companies such as Symantec, when they were in their heyday. Hitachi Data Systems, I spent 9 years. Veritas, and some of these companies have all gone through their transformations. Hitachi, when I joined them, were a $2.5 billion hardware company. They sold storage. By the time I left 9 years later, they were a $4 billion all organic growth hardware, software, and cloud company. So I transitioned that company from a systems and processes perspective, from pure hardware all the way out. Veritas, you know, a $2 billion software, perpetual software company, now doing 10% of the revenue, similar to us in cloud. And so, and then in between, I worked for this little cloud company, pure cloud, called Ellie Mae here in the Bay Area, that basically automates the process of mortgage applications for consumers. So I've worked, you know, at very large companies, smaller companies. This is kind of perfect in the middle. And we are in the transition journey. So it feels good.
So 2 months in, what do you love about Extreme?
You know, you know, probably a lot of people, I've watched a lot of Katy's Corners. They all say the people are really what makes it, you know, it's really about, I mean, we got great solutions and products that I mentioned, but the people have been tremendous. It's, you know, the culture of the organization. I love, one of the other things I love is our values that Ed talks about. And I've seen those demonstrated by all people that I've interacted with, being candor and transparent and just
Mhm.
authentic and being, behaving like an owner,
Yeah.
being fiscally responsible. So it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't tell you, I mean, a lot of people probably say this, but I truly, I am delighted. My wife and my kids, because I don't know if you know, but the number one person you talk about outside the immediate family household member around the dinner room table
Yeah.
is the boss. So Norman and Ed get probably a lot of conversation around the Abel dinner table.
Yeah.
And if you were to ask my kids, they'd say, my dad loves his job, right?
Oh, that's awesome.
And
That's
they,
really
they would
well.
say, and we see his closet filling up with purple.
That's
Although I'm not
great.
wearing any today.
Well, that's a great segue to your family. So you're from Ireland originally,
Yeah,
and tell us about your family. It sounds like
yeah.
you have 2 kids, right?
I have 3 boys. My son, Gavin, who is now 17, and
Mhm.
driving, pretty scary.
Wow.
And my other 2 kids, I have twin boys after that at 15. So I have 3 boys, 17, 15, 15. Jack and Sammy are the twins, and my wife, Wendy, we will be married 20 years this September.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's really great.
And my mother and father, I come from a family of 5. I'm the
Mhm.
youngest of a
Yeah.
family of 5, and they are all still in Ireland, and my parents are still alive in Ireland. And I will be going back to Ireland, hopefully, if I can travel without quarantine and COVID and all of that, in August to celebrate my mother's 90th birthday this year.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So
That's
both,
fantastic.
they're still in the house we grew up in, and
Oh, so
they're doing
fun.
well. So yeah, so um,
How far away from our Shannon office? Because
it's
as you
about
know, we
3,
have a
yeah, about
presence there.
yeah, 3.5 hour drive or so. So
Okay.
if I get
Well, at
down,
some point, when you're not celebrating your mother's birthday, on another trip, maybe you got to go visit our Shannon office. I'm sure they would love to meet you.
well, I was delighted to be asked by Remy in my first week here that would I join the Irish Holding Group, which is our official company
Yes,
there, join their board. And I said, as
great.
long as it involves one trip to Ireland a year, I'm in.
That's awesome. So one other quick one before I wrap this up. Tell us about Abel's Fables, because that's like the buzz around the town. Don at Abel's Fables.
So I have a philosophy that I found years ago that no one ever reads an email from the CIO. No one ever reads emails from IT. And I used to be asking people as in different companies and said, well, did we tell the employees about that? And they go, oh, we sent an email. I'm like, do you think they read it? And they went, no. Like, so why did you even bother sending it? And so to answer that, I said, look, I have 3 boys, 3 kids. People watch videos. They watch Katy's Korner. So I started doing Abel's Fables at several
Nice.
companies back. And it was funny, at Veritas, my prior company, I was 2 weeks into the role, or 2 months into the role, but this time frame, and there was someone walking in the elevator of the building, and they looked at me and they went, "You're the Abel's Fables guy." I'm like, "No, I'm the CIO." So it clearly illustrated that's how people
Yeah,
interrelate. And so if you want key messages, you want to get across
right.
a message like we had the first one about saving 1 million minutes. We got another one coming out very soon.
Nice.
I won't declare the topic, but it really
Okay.
is about getting key messages and adding a little light humor and
Yeah,
showing a face what you're trying to do here. Show a face behind who is IT, what do we stand
yeah,
for? And it's
awesome.
not people in the basement.
Yeah, that's awesome. That is great. I love it.
Yeah.
And John, obviously you're passionate about extreme. You joined us and you've kind of taken off. So what words of advice would you have for anyone at the company, whether it's your team, our sales team, extreme employees generally? As you know, we're thinly veiled around the globe. You're a cosmopolitan kind of guy. I don't know. Tell me what words of advice do you have?
I've taken mentorship myself from and taken piece of advice from a lot of people, and something I think that has served me well in my career and continues to serve me well is never stop learning. Never take for granted that you can't wake up in the day and you have something net new to learn. Often a lot of people look to us in senior positions as, hey, you're the person like that has to know it all. And it's kind of like, I often tell them, I shouldn't be the smartest guy in the room.
Right.
A+ players hire A+ players. And so, I expect the people in my organization and the people I'm surrounding myself with to help educate me and teaching me.
Yeah.
And so, but equally, it's a two-way street. You know, we
Yeah.
are doing mentoring and stuff, and we can guide and we can provide leadership. So, you know, learning is an important thing, and we're only on this planet for a very short space of time. So every day is important, and make sure you're learning something every day.
I love it. I love it, John. Great advice. Excuse me. And I'm sure that, you know, we're going to be coming out of COVID. People are going to be in and out of our offices. We're going to start some traveling and have some team meetings. So I'm sure that people are excited to meet you and meet you in person. I know I am. I've met you already, but I'd love to see you again soon.
Well, I hope that's very soon. And yeah, if anyone's in San Jose office and I'm happen to be here, knock on the door, stop in, say hi. Katy, thank you.
Thank you so much, Sean. I really appreciate it. It was great chatting with you.
You too. Take care.
Bye-bye.